13 etiquette rules that surprise tourists from Europe that go to the US. And once again, I'm watching a video that's going to help me when I move to Europe. So welcome to the journey, and obviously subscribe because I'm landing there in August next year. If you're new to the channel, my name's Lewis. Obviously I'm British and I react to things. And once again, it's a pleasure for you guys being here. So let's press that space bar and get straight into it.
So our parents teach us to be polite, but what?
Guarantee everyone is going to say smile, because in Europe we don't smile, we're just like this the whole time, you know? But we need to get those pearly whites out a bit.
What you learned as a kid doesn't always apply when you're in another part of the world. So if you're heading to the US anytime soon, I've got some tips for you on what we Americans consider the rules of etiquette, and some stuff that's totally okay in the US that other countries might consider rude. Let's start off with my favorite, food etiquette.
Yeah.
Number 1, feel free to ask for some condiments.
Okay.
If you're eating out and your food is tasting a little bland, it's completely fine to ask for salt, pepper, or sauces to add a little zing to your meal.
Oh, is it?
I know
Okay.
some places in Europe see it as an insult to the chef if you start adding a little spice of your own. But don't worry about that in the US. Nobody's going to be offended or give you weird looks if you ask the waiter for a bottle of ketchup. Even if you're at someone's house visiting, they won't see it as a jab to
We also don't ask because it's expensive. They charge you for everything. You ask for a bit of pepper, right? They'd probably charge you. Not that anyone would ask for pepper, but we definitely get charged for ketchup.
their culinary skills either. Some just like it spicier than others.
Fair enough.
Number 2, always tip. Okay,
Yeah.
well, maybe not always, but it's a rare occurrence if you don't tip your waiter, hairdresser, cab driver, and so on. And only
Cab
if the
driver?
service was
Wait, you've got to tip hairdressers and cab drivers in America as well as restaurants? Oh my God. I honestly don't know how. I feel like I'm gonna forget or something. I'm a bit worried. I don't know, like, do you get a lot of looks if you don't tip? But because I don't tip at all. I've never tipped in my life, apart from obviously a handful of times, but it's not, you know, you just don't do it in the UK at all.
really awful. But even then, a lot of Americans feel guilty about not leaving any tip. The rule is 15 to 20% of the bill. So get ready to do some mental math each time you eat out. I've heard that tipping isn't a thing in some countries, especially in East Asia, where restaurant staff always provide good service no matter what. But in the US, it's simply a sign of gratitude that your waiter did a good job, even though they're probably tired, their feet hurt, and they've got a bunch of other tables to tend to. Number 3, clean up after yourself at fast food restaurants. Of course, if you're going to the States, I imagine a lot of your eating out will be done in fast food joints. You'll see a lot more of those than your traditional sit and be served by a waiter types of places. But anyways, if you're finished eating and your tray is now full of wrappers, used napkins, and empty boxes, take it to the trash can and dispose of the garbage yourself.
We have that.
Most fast food places don't have a separate cleaning staff for that. It's pretty much always the cashier that needs to find time between ringing people up to go clean up the dining area.
That's common. That's more common now in the UK.
We try to help them out a bit and clean up after ourselves. Number 4, open gifts immediately in front of the giver. Now, I was pretty surprised when I found out that opening a gift as soon as you get it is considered bad manners in certain parts of the world. I guess some cultures see it as kind of greedy when you start tearing into a present right away. In the US, it's pretty much the opposite. Open it as soon as you get it, right in front of the giver. That way, they can see your reaction and you can thank them right there.
That's funny. No, I don't know. I don't think we'd do that. We'd be like, oh, thank you, and then you'd open it back at home, unless they ask you.
On the spot. There are also no rules about using both hands or a certain hand when giving or receiving a gift. Just grab it and open it already. Number 5.
Yeah, in Asia, you have to
be ready for small talk. How about that game last night? Whew. When's this weather gonna let up already? Yes, Americans love small talk, so don't be surprised if a stranger just starts chatting with you while you're waiting in line or sharing an elevator.
That's a good thing.
It could be sports, the weather, traffic, anything just to have a
So the main thing I'm getting excited for going to America is the small talk and just talking to people. Obviously, if I do vlogs, I'll be talking to people, maybe an interview style in a way. But I just want to, I don't know, I love how friendly you guys are. You don't really get that in England. Everyone just a bit miserable. It's probably the weather, but you know.
Short, light conversation.
Hey
I
ho.
can't really say why we like talking to people we don't even know. But I mean, if you're sharing a space with someone, are you just going to totally ignore their presence? That'd be awkward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you'll get asked how you're doing a lot, even by strangers. It's usually waiters and cashiers that'll greet you with a, "Hi, how are you today?" Just answer with "Fine," and you? Even if you're not
So in the UK we go, "You alright mate? You alright mate?" Which we won't be able to do in America, because that sounds like there's something wrong with you.
exactly having a fantastic day. Number 6. Expect a lot of smiles. First of all, let me bust the myth that Americans constantly walk around smiling ear to ear. Nobody does that, because that'd be weird. But again, if you're sharing a space and making small talk with a stranger, or maybe someone opens or holds the door for you, they'll smile at you, and it's polite if you do the same. Cashiers and waiters also greet you with a big friendly smile. I read somewhere that this goes back to our early history as a country built by people who all spoke different languages. They didn't understand each other all that well, so they just smiled. But I still think we just like to be open and kind. Number 7. Respect the bubble. Now here's a pretty funny thing about Americans. We're friendly, we love to chat, but we also really like our personal bubble. The unspoken rule is to stand about an arm's length away when you're talking with someone. We're also not too big on touching during conversation, because this can be misconstrued as a way of flirting. Of course, the rule doesn't apply with close friends and family, but still, even then, most Americans aren't too touchy-feely.
Oh, really?
Number 8.
That's the same as
and definitely no kissing. I know in countries like Spain and France, people often greet each other with a peck or two on the cheek. There might be some
kind of do that in the UK, a little peck on the cheek. Not often though.
Americans who greet the
Not with guys, obviously. Like, like we see a girl and give them a kiss on the cheek.
European way, but overall, we don't kiss each other as a way to say hi. Again, my personal bubble is my sanctuary, so don't come in it with puckered lips ablazing. It's best to just say hi, smile, and keep it at that.
Okay.
Number 9. Being loud is usually okay.
Yeah.
The stereotype of the loud American tourist might ring true most of the time.
It is kind of true. When I travelled, I was in Vietnam and I could hear Americans from miles away. You guys do have like a loudness up here, slightly a bit, You're not all loud. Obviously it's a stereotype, but yeah.
Since we tend to project our voices, even out in public. It's not that we're yelling all the time, but I'd say we certainly speak louder than people in Europe or Asia. I've gotten some friendly reminder to take it down a few decibels when visiting my friends abroad. But hey, if you're ever in the States, feel free to laugh out loud or get particularly animated while telling a joke. But of course, there's a time and place for that. You still have to hush down in places like libraries. Shh.
It's probably, I don't know, it's probably to do with your history, Revolution, more individualistic. You're more individual, right? So you're like, why can anyone tell me to be quiet or say louder?
Number 10. Indirectness is politeness. So here's the thing about Americans. A direct, "No, I don't want," or "like that," is seen as pretty rude. But if an American gives you a polite, "No thanks, I'd rather not," or "I don't think that's the best idea," that doesn't mean that they're on the fence about it. No means no, even if it's said indirectly and super politely. It's frowned upon to try and convince someone to do something or change their mind because it's seen as pushy and disrespectful to their wishes.
Yeah.
So
I think in countries like Italy, Spain, France, they say directly, no, like Latin America and stuff. But in England, we're the same as you guys, sort of say it indirectly.
11. Sit in the back seat of a cab. Now this is something interesting I found out about Australia and New Zealand. There, it's considered rude to take the back seat of a cab because it's almost like you're showing that you expect to be chauffeured by someone who's lower than you.
Yeah, it's
Well,
true.
don't worry about that in the US. In fact, you should ride in the back seat because the driver might give you a weird look otherwise. It's not an
That's
elitist
good to
thing,
know.
and you can still make friendly small talk from the back. Just respect the driver's personal bubble, that's all.
Yeah, I sometimes, I get in the front seat of taxis. That's a good one to know.
Number 12.
That's
Feel
insane.
free to
that.
keep your shoes on inside. I had a
Really?
friend from Russia recently ask me, why is it that in all American movies, people
This
are
guy has
walking
friends from
around
everywhere,
their
doesn't he?
house with their shoes on? And I just told him straight up, because that's what we do. Now, there are plenty of families here that don't have a no shoes indoors policy, although I'd say the majority don't. So here's a good
Really?
rule of etiquette to live by if you ever visit an American's home. When you walk in, ask if you should take your shoes off at the door. If they say, nah, you're okay, don't feel bad about walking around their house in your shoes. I know it seems
Really?
bizarre to most people around the world, but it's A-okay
It's quite
here.
bizarre.
13.
What about
It's
the carpets?
okay to keep it casual. Overall, I'd say the biggest thing about Americans is that most of us are pretty casual and laid back. If you're ever out and about in the US, you'll see a lot of people running errands in sweatpants, gym shorts, baseball caps, and even their PJs. But it's not just about clothes either. We often keep it on a first-name basis, even with people that are generally referred to more formally in other countries. For example, most of the time your boss is just Jim or Janet, not Mr. or Mrs. Jones. You might start off more formally, but I guarantee you that that person will say right off the bat, hey, call me Jim. Now, what would be weird is if their name isn't Jim. Maybe it's Howard or Benny. Then what you say is, hey, call me a cab. So, are any of these Americanisms different or the same in your country?
Howard or Benny.
And to all my
Is that a
fellow
joke?
Americans,
I think that joke went over
can
my
you add
head.
anything to the list? Let me know down.
Yeah, if you're watching this, add any, well, of course you're watching this, add stuff to the list because I need to know, all right? I'm going to America in 6 months, I'm going to Texas, so I need to know all the etiquette stuff, okay? Because right now, I feel I've watched a few videos now, I'm like, oh, you Americans are quite different. But it should be good. You guys are friendly, that's the most important thing. Big smiles. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.